I'm going to say something that's going to piss a lot of people off. You're not stuck in a bad relationship because of your partner. You're stuck in a bad relationship because of you. In this video, I'm going to go over 5 or 6 points that are so crucial. These are things that you need to know if you're right now stuck in a relationship that is going down the drain. And it might just save your relationship. So make sure you watch this all the way to the end. Let's get started. Hi, my name is Jay, and over the last 5.5 years, I've been working with hundreds of people, helping them overcome their own internal patterns of love, patterns of relationships, both romantic, business, professional, personal, doesn't matter. Because relationships are the interaction of patterns of two different people. Most relationships aren't ruined by what happened, not because of he said this, not because of she said that, but because they collapse under the pressure of both the partners projecting their own fears and insecurities onto each other. It's because people don't know how to process their own pain, their trigger points. They don't realize that what they're going to see in the world is nothing but a reflection of what's going on the inside. When people meet me about their relationships, it's always a blame game. He did this, she did that. Everything is okay with me, everything is fine with me, but my partner is the problem. My husband is the problem. My wife is the problem. People don't look at themselves. The only way that your relationship can start improving is by improving your own emotional habits, your own reactions, your own identity as an individual, as well as within that relationship. If you're waiting for the other person to apologize, you can keep waiting forever because it may never happen. If you want your partner to show up differently, you start by showing up differently yourself. First thing you have to think about is when you start this journey of changing your relationship, of improving your relationship, of trying to get the other person back, it's not actually about getting the other person back. Your first journey is about learning how to get yourself back. Because oftentimes, people in relationships, especially people who are Enneagram type 2s, Enneagram type 9s, even Enneagram type 4s, type 1s, they give themselves away in the relationship, thinking that by going over and above their own values, by going over and above what their own principles are, what they want and what their own needs are, that somehow they will win the affection of their partner. You could also call this dependent type in the relationship. What you have to realize is that in any relationship, in order for it to work, it needs to serve the needs of both partners, not just one of them. So if one of them is sacrificing their needs for the needs of the other, the relationship is by definition not going to work. And if you want the relationship to work, the first step is by owning your own wants, your own desires, your own needs. Some people don't even know their own desires, their own needs. For example, if you're an Enneagram type 9 or the Enneagram type 2, you might have a really difficult time getting in touch with your own needs and your own desires. If that sounds like you, then that very well may be your personality pattern. And if you want to learn how you can figure out what your personality pattern is, I actually have an assessment in the description. You can click on the link, do the test. It will tell you everything that you need to know about your subconscious patterns. My point is that it's only when you do the work, the inner work, to realize what is really important for you, can you then bring that to the relationship to have some sort of balance between you and your partner. Otherwise, you're never going to feel that real balance. You're never going to feel that the scale is is, it's always going to be tipped to one side, and there's always going to be resentment on one end of the partnership. Now, the second thing you have to remember is that your nervous system is programmed to seek out what's familiar, which means that if you have a pattern of going from one bad relationship to another bad relationship to another bad relationship to another bad relationship, then chances are that you're seeking out people that fulfill that particular need of familiarity for you. Perhaps you've got into a pattern of overgiving, and that means that you're usually looking for partners that fulfill that criteria for you, where they're very demanding, and perhaps you believe that by submitting to their demands that somehow your needs will be met automatically, when that's not really true, but it's just what's familiar to you. So you end up repeating the same patterns over and over and over again. I'll give you an example. This is quick example. Look around your room, just see what color appears out for you. Maybe you can look for red in your surroundings. So look around for everything that's red. Like, I want you to find 10 things that's red. Just look around. Found 10 things? If not, you can pause this video, find 10 things, or find as many things in your room that are red in color, and just try to remember that. Yeah. Now close your eyes. Don't open them. I want you to tell me, without opening your eyes, don't peek. I can see you're peeking. Close your eyes. Tell me 10 things which are blue in color. I'm waiting. How many could you remember? 1, 2. Now open your eyes, look around, and tell me if you can find more than 2, 3 things that are blue in color inside your room right now. And chances are, if you're like most people, you will find way more than 2, 3 things that were blue in color in your room. The thing is that if you're familiar with an over-demanding partner, if you're familiar with over-giving to your partner in your relationships, then chances are that that's the kind of partner that you're going to be attracted towards. And so if you want to change your relationship, or you want to attract a different kind of person, then the first thing you have to do is change yourself. Now here's point number 3, which is, I think, so important, because when I meet a lot of people in relationship issues, they're like waiting for their partner to grow. They're waiting, like, my partner will get better, my partner will get better, my partner will get better. They'll become this person. I have hope that he's going to improve. I have hope that she is going to improve in her life. And finally, like, if this one thing changed, everything in the relationship would be good. Truth is, if you're waiting for your partner to grow, that's how you're avoiding growing yourself. I remember having coffee with a friend of mine, and she said something amazing. She's a fantastic human being, somebody older than me, somebody more experienced than me. And she said to me, Jay, that the only people that you're going to meet in your life moving forward are the people who you need to meet in order for you to grow in the ways that you need to grow to fulfill your potential. The very things in your life that trigger you are going to appear over and over and over and over again until you grow to a point where you realize which part of you they reflect. And until you accept that part of you, that's going to keep bothering you forever. When you meet somebody that you love absolutely, but there's something about them that bothers you, and you're waiting for them to change that part of you, the truth is that there is somewhere inside in that, the universe is telling you, the world is telling you, your nervous system is telling you that this is where you need to grow. If you're judging someone for maybe being too fat, maybe you can acknowledge that they're fat without the judgment. If You're craving something from your partner that they are not able to give you. Perhaps it's time for you to find another way to meet that need that is completely dependent upon you as a human being. It is so important that you don't wait for other people. You don't wait for your partner to pick up the slack. You want to pick it up yourself. Now, one of two things will happen when you do that. Either your partner will follow with you and grow alongside with you, or they'll leave. And you won't care because you have grown and they have not. And that leads me to the next point, which is so important, that releasing your resentment that you have for your partner. It's not about forgiveness. It's actually about having and reclaiming your own freedom. I'm talking about the freedom from from the frustration, from the anger, freedom from the pattern. I'll tell you what I mean. Releasing resentment isn't forgiving them. It's not about forgiving them. It's about reclaiming your own freedom. The freedom from the anxiety, the freedom from the frustration, the freedom from the repeated thoughts of this person, I can't stand this person. Because if you let go of the awful things that have happened between you and them, between you and your partner, and you wish them well, you're now finally free to move on with your life. Now, either you move on in your life with the relationship, or you move on without it. That's a choice for you to make. But it begins with letting go of that resentment. And the truth is that if you change how you show up, it's going to change the relationship. It's going to change the relationship dynamic, even if your partner does not change. And that is powerful. That's how you find your locus of control in a situation that can seem uncontrollable. And this is true not just in romantic relationships, but in any relationship. Because I've had a very difficult relationship with my father. There are a lot of things that he has done that I just can never, I can never reconcile with. Things that he's caused a lot of pain in my family, to my mother, and to other people. And I could hold on to that. I could stay angry at him, and I could take revenge. But isn't that just keeping me more trapped? Isn't that making the quality of my life worse? Am I not holding on to more stress? Am I not holding on to more anger, more negativity? Instead, what if I let that go? What if I continue to fulfill my duties as a son without attaching myself emotionally to how he behaves, what he does? Being very upfront over here, because I know people go through very, very difficult situations, very complicated situations within their families, within their relationships. And the difficult thing to realize, but a difficult truth, is that some people will never change. You try to help them out as much as you like, but they're not going to change. You have to change if you want to move on, if you're looking to improve the quality of your life, of your relationships. Don't wait for your partner to take responsibility. Take back the power by taking responsibility for your own patterns. That's how you start this process. If you want to learn more about your patterns, then there's a link in the description where you can take a Enneagram personality test that will tell you everything about your subconscious patterns. Extremely powerful. So I have thousands of people do that test. Brilliant. Second thing is I have a link to a space, an incubator for inner transformation. It's called the Breakthrough Lab. It's a private community. Not everybody gets in, but right now you can. So there's a link in the description. Click on that. It'll take you to that space. I'm there personally, and you get a chance to interact with me as well. And if you're somebody who really, really, really wants to take their journey of inner transformation and relationship mastery to the next level, you want to overcome maybe a difficult relationship that you have in your life, maybe you want to overcome a relationship pattern that you have in your life or some other pattern, then there's a link in the description to book a one-on-one call to see if working long-term with me is the right fit for you. I hope that you found this video useful. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.